You had your chance. You went rogue.
It's my turn to finish the job.
He's in town for 2 days to scout a buyer.
I got distribution. I know you got product.
I don't trust him.
You know what to do.
White SUV rolled up, opened fire into a crowd.
Someone saw that shooter. Let's find him.
My dad was at that church. He wasn't involved in gangs.
You sure about that?
Later, Jimmy Fallon welcomes Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb.
On our broadcast tonight, Wisconsin Republicans are fighting for a flat tax. We'll have a look at the benefits and drawbacks of the proposed tax. Plus, the new legislative session is underway. We'll hear from Assembly members on their goals for this session. And the Wisconsin Department of Health is asking residents to test for a deadly odorless chemical. We'll have the details as your local news starts right now.
News Watch 12 with Jessica Jukic and Conrad Sapinski.
Good evening and welcome to News Watch 12 at 10. I'm Jessica Jukic. This past election cycle, Republican candidate for governor Tim Michels proposed a flat tax plan for the state of Wisconsin. Michels lost his race against Democrat Governor Tony Evers, but there are still Republicans who hope to create legislation to change tax rates for Wisconsinites. News Watch 12's Kyle Pozorski spoke to lawmakers about what this tax rate change could mean.
I'm very much in favor of a flat tax.
You're basically taking, billionaires and treating them the same as people.
Does it have any traction? Doesn't sound like it does with the governor's office.
North Central Wisconsin legislators are split on the idea of a state flat tax, and those differences may even extend beyond party lines.
Will it happen within the caucus? We haven't had that discussion yet.
If a flat tax was passed by the legislator and signed by Governor Evers, it could be a significant piece of bipartisan work.
And I think what we need to do if we're going to look at property tax relief or at income tax relief is to actually target it towards the middle class.
Right now, Wisconsin has a graduated individual income tax with rates beginning at 3.5% and going as high as 7.6%. A flat tax would make it the same across all income levels. Other Midwest states of Michigan and Illinois have flat taxes at 4.2 and 4.9 respectively. Stevens Point Assemblywoman Katrina Shanklin says this model in Wisconsin would harm low-level earners.
I strongly support targeting our tax relief, so that way we're supporting those who not only are working hard every day, but making sure that they have the opportunity to get food on the table.
However, State Senator Mary Felskowski of Tomahawk does think a flat tax would be better than the graduated income tax.
Let's be really honest here. You have mom and dad, let's say they're making $90,000 a year. They've got 2 kids. They've got their mortgage, and so they have their interest in income and everything else. How much tax are they really paying? Very close to nothing, So a flat tax doesn't hurt.
Republican leaders in Madison have expressed their support for a 3.5% flat tax. However, it is unclear now if anything will come in this legislative session. Reporting for News Watch 12, I'm Kyle Pozorski.
We had some snow on and off throughout the day. Conrad, what can we expect heading into this weekend?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty calm out there for this weekend, though. Jessica, it's going to get pretty mild, so get ready for that. Temperatures will be slightly above our average for this time of year. Taking a look outside right now, though, looking pretty different. I mean, it is a winter day, so we are expecting a lot of snow, a lot of cold temperatures, and I mean, that's exactly what we're getting out there. Right now, the graphics do show some temperatures, some snow showers in the region. Overall, some cloudy skies and a little bit of flurries in the action. All across America, though, there is a lot of snowfall throughout the region. But take a look in the west right now, though. Lots of snow. There's a little bit of rainfall that is also out there. Close to 5 to 6 inches of rain is possible in California. Those low pressure systems will continue to move east. Not for us, though. Right now, cloudy skies across the area. There are a couple of flurries still lingering with that low pressure system that was in the region the last several days. Now it's starting to taper off and move out of the area, but these cold temperatures are still hanging out in northern Minnesota, and same thing in North Dakota. Overall, though, for us, though, we're slightly above average. We're hovering at around 22 degrees right now, so that is most definitely above what we should be this time of year. Tonight, though, temperatures will continue to cool off, and they'll be hovering in those lower teens. Jessica?
Thank you, Conrad. The House of Representatives is still without a speaker. The House voted to adjourn after taking 5 more failed speaker votes today. They're planning to return to the chamber at noon Friday. California's Kevin McCarthy failed to garner the support he needs to get elected speaker after 11 failed votes. A group of 20 hardline Republicans continue to refuse to back him. House members have spent nearly 18 hours on the floor this week trying and failing to elect a new speaker. So far, with no end in sight. With a new legislative session beginning this week in Madison, it's another year of shared power. This means no one will get all of what they want, so they have to prioritize the most important issues to them. Stevens Point Assemblywoman Katrina Shanklin says she hopes to increase shared revenue, which the governor has also signaled he's in favor of.
I hear from a lot of people in communities across central Wisconsin that they're concerned about the rise in property taxes locally. And that really is a function of the state not sharing the revenue with local governments. So what I want to do is increase shared revenue to our local communities, our counties, our villages, our cities, and our towns, so that way they can afford to cover basic services without having to raise a levy, which in turn raises property taxes.
Schofield Assemblyman Patrick Snyder, on the other hand, says that he hopes to accomplish legislation for childcare because of his chairmanship on the Children's and Families Committee.
And I think that we really need to engage on that to try to make it a little bit more easier for some of the folks maybe to start a daycare center or maybe help them in their in-home licensed daycare centers.
The governor had called for a middle-class tax cut, work on reproductive rights, and the legalization of marijuana in his inaugural address on Tuesday. The Department of Justice has received new documents from state officials in Wisconsin related to efforts to overturn the 2020 election. The documents include communications with lawyers working on behalf of former President Donald Trump. Special counsel Jack Smith's team sent subpoenas to local and state officials in 7 key states: Georgia, New Mexico, Nevada, Michigan, Arizona, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. The states were targeted by Trump and his allies in their bid to overturn the results of the presidential election. A Wisconsin woman is charged for repeatedly poisoning her veterinarian husband with animal euthanasia drugs. 50-year-old Amanda Chapin was charged with attempted first-degree intentional homicide. She's accused of putting barbiturates in her 70-year-old husband's coffee 3 times last year. The 3rd time she drugged him, he fell into a coma, and that lasted 4 days. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office caught a wanted man in Rhinelander. Cody Camrath was taken into custody around 7:20 this morning when he was spotted on the steps of the Rhinelander Library. He was brought in on a warrant for probation violation. We have no word yet on what he did to violate probation. Camrath grew up in Tomahawk. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services is encouraging residents to test their homes and buildings for radon. Exposure to radon is the 2nd leading cause of lung cancer nationally. Easy-to-use tests are widely available at hardware stores and local public health departments. Radon is an odorless radioactive gas naturally present in the ground, and it typically enters buildings through their foundation. An estimated 21,000 lung cancer deaths per year among non-smokers are caused by radon. Many fire departments across the Northwoods are in need of the next generation of firefighters, and a new grant could help that. The Department of Safety and Professional Services recently announced the 3 recipients of a grant program that provides funding for youth firefighters training programs. Among the winners was Nicolet College, which will receive $4,000. The program works with Northland Pines High School and the Eagle River Fire Department. The funds will be used for textbooks, costs for practical exam review, tuition for firefighter skills review, and more, with the goal of giving interested students an easier path towards fighting fires professionally or on a volunteer basis. Tomahawk students are saving lives with their community project. 2 FCCLA members planned Thursday's Tomahawk High School blood drive. FCCLA gives students an opportunity to make a difference in their communities through service projects.
We felt that it was a great community service project to try and get high school students involved with donating blood. So in the future, they can continue to donate blood.
This is the first blood drive at the high school since 2020, where they collected 14 units of blood. This year's goal is to collect 35 units. 43 people pre-registered for that event, so the goal looks to be well within their reach.
all our students do amazing projects to make a difference for others and make an impact, and they're very excited to get their projects implemented and get ready to go compete at regionals.
Students wanted to make sure to thank the businesses and organizations who donated to help make the event possible. And they want to remind everyone that there's always a need for blood. To find out more about upcoming blood drives, go to redcross.org. Coming up, local animal shelters are seeing a steady stream of pet adoptions. And wages in Wisconsin are soaring. We'll have the details after weather right here on Newswatch 12.
Uh-oh. Did your holiday hosting create a couple extra stains in your carpet? Or do you just need an update for your old flooring? Come to Carpet City Flooring Center and start your year off right with free carpet installation. That's right, free carpet installation. If money is a little tight, Carpet City Flooring Center can help make your project affordable with interest-free financing. Get your free carpet installation today.
Carpet City, our prices will floor you.
This is a special report for people who want the facts about reverse mortgages without the hype. You've seen a lot of commercials telling you how you can turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. But do you really know if a reverse mortgage loan can help you? Call today. For a limited time only, we'll send you a free special report, Reverse Mortgages, Facts Without the Hype. Did you know that not everyone over 62 can qualify? And you can choose to receive your money monthly or in a lump sum. Call us today and get all the facts you need. You'll speak with an experienced reverse mortgage advisor who will give you honest answers to your questions and even provide a free personalized assessment. This is a big decision. Get the facts with this free special report, Reverse Mortgages, Facts Without the Hype. There's no obligation, and the call is free. So don't delay.
Call 1-800-737-5145. That's 1-800-737-5145.
From the moments that shape our lives to those that shape our days, broadcasters are there, delivering the most trusted news that keeps you informed when it matters. We are your neighbors, a trusted voice, a lifeline. We are broadcasters. Text TV to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local TV and radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
And welcome back. It's our first Thursday of 2023. Pretty mild out there all across the country, even Florida. I know a lot of people vacationing down there. 60s and 70s are back. Even a couple of beach 80s out there. So warmer air is finally starting to make its way up. And that air is actually continuing to move up north. Temperatures today here in town, they were hovering at around 28 degrees, even some 30s out there. 34 in Wausau earlier. That is well above the average. That should be in the mid to upper 20s this time of year. So that warm air has arrived into our house. 23 degrees. That's that high that should be around this time of year. Look at our low, though. We should be hovering at around 5 degrees. At least it's not 1972, 29 degrees below zero. Wow, that is frigid with that. Feels like temperature much, much colder than that. And that pretty much mild air is going to be sticking around with us for the rest of the week and then even into next week, as most of that core cold air is going to continue to stick around in Canada and in the north of that. So all that in-between air is going to be hovering in the upper Midwest for quite some time, as that jet stream is going to be just a little bit north. Right now, we do have some cloudy skies, a couple of flurries still lingering in the region. Overall, though, most of that snow is in Michigan right now and continuing to taper off as that system moves out of the area. It continues to weaken. So tonight, though, we're going to have a couple more chances of flurries, and then by tomorrow, we're in the clear. We'll have mostly cloudy skies, but peaks of sunshine will be possible tomorrow. But now let's do a whole 180. Let's talk about the West. What's going on here? There's another low pressure system moving in, especially in California. They had really strong winds today, really big waves destroying the beaches. It looked like a hurricane rolled past there. They had wind gusts over 94 miles an hour. Just think about that. And that's because there was 2 low-pressure systems exploding, so it's called low-pressure bombing, and that means the millibars were going down. It was significantly getting stronger with a cold front coming in, and that's what caused all that wind for several hours out there in California. For us, though, calm winds, and the weather is going to be calm the next several days. Tuesday into Wednesday, we might get a couple of flurries in the area. And then Thursday into Friday, we're looking at another low-pressure system. This one looks like it's going to be just a little bit south of Chicago. That means we're going to be on the northern end of this. This precipitation will be light. So overall, though, the next week, we have a pretty dry weather spell in the forecast. Lots of dry air will be in the region. Our 7-day outlook brought to you by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress does show a good amount of sunshine all the way till Tuesday. Temperatures still above average and hovering in those mid to upper 20s. Jessica?
The estate of a Capitol police officer who died after responding to the U.S. Capitol riots is suing former President Donald Trump and 2 of the rioters. The estate of Brian Sicknick filed a civil lawsuit for damages of more than $10 million in Washington, D.C.'s federal court Thursday, a day before the 2-year anniversary of the Capitol attack. The complaint alleges the 2 rioters were allegedly involved in a violent attack of Sicknick during the riots. Sicknick died the next day of natural causes after he suffered multiple strokes. His estate's lawsuit notes Trump instructed his supporters to, quote, fight like hell in his speech before the Capitol riot. The filing alleges conspiracy, negligence, and assault played a part in this case. President Biden announced a new immigration program today ahead of a trip to the southern border. Biden said he is expanding a program to accept up to 30,000 migrants per month from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. There's also a plan to expel migrants from those countries who try to make it into the U.S. illegally.
My administration is taking several steps to stiffen enforcement for those who try to come without a legal right to stay, and to put in place a faster process, I emphasize a faster process, to decide a claim of asylum. Someone says, I'm coming because I'm escaping oppression. Well, there's got to be a way to determine that much quicker.
Biden's trip on Sunday will be his first visit to the border as president. Today, he called for Congress to pass immigration reform, arguing his powers to address the growing crisis are limited. Pay throughout Wisconsin grew 7.7% in December 2022. Today, ADP Research Institute released its national employment reports, Pay Insights for December 2022. The median annual salary in Wisconsin is a little over $57,000. Nationally, the largest pay increases were seen in young workers, leisure and hospitality workers, and people who switched jobs last year. They also found businesses that hired aggressively in the first half of 2022 slowed hiring in December. 4 teams took part in a clash of GNC rivals. Coming up on Newswatch 12, Saul Meyer will have a recap of that match.
Emmer Properties leases office, storage, and manufacturing space, as well as apartments, duplexes, and homes. We are your first call, your last call, your only call for your rental or lease needs.
Would you look at that?
It's beautiful. What? That's our boy.
So proud.
Right now, get a sausage McMuffin or sausage biscuit paired with hash browns for just $2.50.
Is your bathroom looking old and worn out? Want to update it, but you don't know where to start? Then let VCI Bath & Shower show you how to turn that old bath into an aisle of beauty and functionality. Our residential bathroom solutions provide the best value on the market, and our customer service is second to none. Our cost-effective VCI Bath & Shower family of products has what you need.
Remodeling our bathroom was a big decision for us.
They didn't make a mess out of our house at all. And at the end of the day, we had a beautiful new bathroom. And it was a great experience the whole way through.
We have the best monthly payment programs in the industry, with payments as low as $68 per month or no interest, no payments for 18 months. For a limited time, be one of the first 100 callers who schedule a free in-home consultation and receive $500 off.
1-800-908-7527. That's 1-800-908-7527.
Factory trained and certified installers made in the USA, and discounts for seniors and military. VCI Bath & Shower, the leader in affordable bathroom products.
Introducing Granite Stone, the all-new durable non-stick pan. No butter or oil needed. Look, sticky candies, burnt-on cheese, caramel and chocolate. Even upside-down pan pizza just doesn't stick. Perfectly sear a filet or fire flambe. Get your Granite Stone pan for just $19.99. And with every order, you're going to get a Granite Stone single-serve egg pan. Absolutely free. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-898-6703. That's 1-800-898-6703 or order on.
Coming up, we'll have another installment of Connecting the Dots.
A very exciting series. But you know what else is exciting? There's nicer weather on the way.
Absolutely.
Some clouds Friday, but partly cloudy as we head towards the weekend. More when you tune in on your Friday from 5 to 7 a.m.
This portion of News Watch 12 is brought to you by Furniture and Appliance Mart.
Northland Pines High School announced today that they will only field a JV football team this year. According to a press release, the decision is due to low numbers of upperclassmen, but the plan is to return to a varsity schedule in 2024. 2 years ago, Pines ended their season early because of low numbers and injuries. The Hodag hockey team has been on a tear lately, and a 4-1 win against Marshfield ended 2022 on a high note for Rhinelander. Their first game of 2023 was a big one, taking on Great Northern Conference opponent Medford at home. Let's see if the Hodags were able to keep the momentum going into 2023. The Hodags, or Hornets for tonight, paid homage to their past with the purple and gold sweaters. Here in the second, it was Medford who struck gold. Connor Gowie is able to sneak this one past the goalie to get the only goal of the second period for either team. I say that because both teams were able to score 10 goals in the first and third periods combined. Rhinelander was able to keep attacking the net, getting closer and closer, but no cigar in the second period for the Hodags. But that didn't matter, though, as the barrage of scoring for the Hodags were able to give them the 8-3 win over Medford. Let's move on to Crandon, where it's senior night for the Cardinals in their home game against Elko. Here in the second half, Emily Moore is driving to the basket. She takes some contact, but is able to gather herself for the tough bucket. Good ball movement from Crandon here, utilizing that triangle offense as Maya LeMaster misses the corner three here, but Mara Stamper is able to get the board and bucket. But check out their defense. Holly Palubicki gets the steal and the fast break layup for two right here. Crandon was doing it all on defense and offense. Madeline Erdman gets the ball on the inbounds and drains the three ball as Crandon runs away with this one, 57-17. Speaking of teams from Rhinelander that have been dominant all 2022 and looking to carry their winning ways into 2023, the boys swimming team hosted a double duel today against Lakeland Union and Anago. Rhinelander has been dominant all season long with multiple wins and broken records. Now that postseason is starting to come up, the Hodags are looking to make a run at state just like the girls team did last fall. Well, they seem to be trending in that direction with Rhinelander winning this meet big, 122-22 against Lakeland Union and 123-36 against Anago. The Hodags will be back in the pool this Saturday for an invitational meet in Ashwaubenon. Wrestlers from across the Northwoods gathered at Rhinelander High School today to compete in a clash of the Great Northern Conference. The meet was a two-round quad meet with Medford, Mosinee, Rhinelander, and Tomahawk all participating. In the first round, Mosinee took on Tomahawk with the Hatchets pulling away from Mosinee to finish 53-30. On the other side of the mat, Medford controlled Rhinelander to win 70-12. Now on to the second round, and Medford would have control the whole way, ending with the score of 63-18 over Tomahawk. And in the closest match of the night, Mosinee would narrowly edge out Rhinelander and end up winning 36-30. Let's move on to some scores from games around our local area that happened tonight. We already saw a GNC face-off between Rhinelander and Medford in boys hockey. Now let's look at the others. First off, Mosinee traveled to Wapaka, and that one saw Mosinee win it 8-1. Next, Anago hosted Northland Pines with the Eagles winning 5-4 in a tough overtime battle. And finally, two teams in the top four, Lakeland Union and Tomahawk, faced off today at Sarah Park Arena with the Hatchets winning this one 4-3. Now on to some more area scores. Moving on from the ice to the hardwood. A school that needed a win in the biggest way possible tonight was Mosinee after they dropped a tough one to Pines the other day, and they were looking to bounce back tonight at Edgar, and they did it in a huge way, winning this one 62-48. Finally, our last area score of the night, Three Lakes hosted a dangerous Florence team in some Northern Lakes Conference girls basketball action. This one saw the Blue Jays win it 52-29. We'll be right back after the break.
The unknown is not empty. It's a storm that crashes and consumes, replacing thought with worry. But one thing can calm uncertainty. An answer. Uncovered through exploration, teamwork, and innovation. An answer that leads to even more answers. Mayo Clinic. You know where to go.
Sierra with hands-free driving offers the most advanced and luxurious pickup in its class. Yeah, it rocks.
Here is your Newswatch 12 Ski and Board Report, brought to you by Ski Brule.
You've decided to go back to school. Good for you. So, which would you rather do? Get up early, get dressed, drive to college, find a parking spot, walk across campus, only to sit in a giant lecture hall, or earn your degree from home with Independence University.
I have two small children, a 10-year-old and a 4-year-old, so the online format and the flexibility was a must.
I could work at my own pace, and I was still able to take care of my kids while going to school.
We'll even provide you with a new laptop and tablet to keep when you graduate, and a personal student success team.
I have had such personalized attention, and it's an online degree.
If I had a question on the coursework, I always got my answer within an hour or two.
I will never be able to express what I owe this institution.
Independence University. Online, but never alone.
Call 1-800-879-1493. 1-800-879-1493.
Early on in the pandemic, people stuck at home wanted an animal companion. But as inflation rose, it became more expensive to have pets. Newswatch 12's Morgan Johnson explains how things are starting to now even out.
When Amanda Hayden took over as director of the Oneida County Humane Society in 2021, she had a pretty good idea of what she was in for.
I was the assistant director before that and applied for the director position.
She also has a handful of pets that came right from the shelter. But starting her new position in the middle of a pandemic was something nobody could have predicted.
We ended up having to create a wait list.
A new virus called for new procedures and protocols. The animal shelter switched to appointment-only visits and adoptions, which actually benefited them in the long run.
The appointments taught us a lot. Just that we are better to care for the animals if we have more staff available for that.
Even through the pandemic, the Oneida County Humane Society found success. They didn't struggle with staffing shortages like many businesses did.
People are very passionate about animals and love working with the animals. So no, we haven't struggled with that. We're very lucky.
And pet adoptions have been steady, similar to nearby shelters like the Marathon and Lincoln County Humane Societies. It's a relief compared to last summer when they saw a big increase in intakes.
Our dog kennels were full, our cat kennels were full.
But even with consistency, Amanda says more adoptions are needed.
There's so many benefits of adopting.
The shelter has around 75 animals right now, including cats, dogs, bunnies, and guinea pigs.
This kitten came to us as a surrender with her litter.
Amanda always welcomes animals in the shelter, but it's better for them to have a forever home.
I mean, we love them and we play with them, but, they do need a place to go. A lot of people have found the loves of their life at an animal shelter. I know I have.
Save big money in your next project now at Menards. Start a bathroom renovation with a U-Tile shower kit. They look and feel like tile and can be installed easily in just one day. Save big money on Max U-Tile shower kits. Complete the look with Shaw vinyl plank flooring. Choose the look of tile or wood. It's also waterproof and easy to install, making it the perfect choice for your bathroom. Save big money on Shaw flooring now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Here's your News Watch 12 Snowmobile Trail Report, brought to you by your local Northern Wisconsin and Upper Peninsula Ski-Doo dealers.
This is a special report for people who want the facts about reverse mortgages without the hype. You've seen a lot of commercials telling you how you can turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. But do you really know if a reverse mortgage loan can help you? Call today. For a limited time only, we'll send you a free special report, Reverse Mortgages, Facts Without the Hype. Did you know that not everyone over 62 can qualify? And you can choose to receive your money monthly or in a lump sum. Call us today and get all the facts you need. You'll speak with an experienced reverse mortgage advisor who will give you honest answers to your questions and even provide a free personalized assessment. This is a big decision. Get the facts with this free special report, Reverse Mortgages, Facts Without the Hype. There's no obligation, and the call is free. So don't delay.
Call 1-800-737-5145. That's 1-800-737-5145.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call now.
The village of Luck, Wisconsin is living up to its name. Last night, somebody bought a $15.1 million Megabucks winning ticket at Wayne's Food Plus grocery store. It's the largest Megabucks jackpot since 2015. I know if I won the lottery, I would totally buy a house. Okay. I don't know. What would you guys buy if you won $15 million?
$15 million. That is a good amount of money.
I know what I would buy. All right. So we were looking up Mark Cuban the other day and all the crazy stuff he's bought. He owns a town. I would buy a town.
Okay.
I'd buy my hometown, San Angelo, Texas.
That's
Why not?
genius.
I'd buy a town. I own it.
That's pretty unique.
Great idea. You could do a lot with a town. You could use it for commercial, residential. You could rent it if you want.
You'd make a lot of money off property taxes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Good idea, Saul. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, but taking a look outside, though, I mean, it's going to stay pretty mild the next week. So you don't even have to move, Saul. You could stay right here as a good amount of sunshine will also be present.
Might as well. You know, what if I bought Rhinelander, too?
Why not? Why not? We'll see you back here tomorrow.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Don't need glasses. See us for your contacts and save on your annual supply.
See your local Northern Wisconsin and UP Ski-Doo dealers.
Would you look at that?
It's beautiful. What? That's our boy.
So proud.
Right now, get a sausage McMuffin or sausage biscuit paired with hash browns for just $2.50.
This is a special report for people who want the facts about reverse mortgages without the hype. You've seen a lot of commercials telling you how you can turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. But do you really know if a reverse mortgage loan can help you? Call today. For a limited time only, we'll send you a free special report. Reverse mortgages, facts without the hype. Did you know that not everyone over 62 can qualify? And you can choose to receive your money monthly or in a lump sum. Call us today and get all the facts you need. You'll speak with an experienced reverse mortgage advisor who will give you honest answers to your questions and even provide a free personalized assessment. This is a big decision. Get the facts with this free special report. Reverse mortgages, facts without the hype. There's no obligation, and the call is free. So don't delay.
Call 1-800-737-5145.